oxygen flux, oxygen delivery. The whole thing of your cardiovascular system is to supply oxygen to the tissues. Okay, so nak hantar barang, you kena ada barang dan macam mana nak pergi kan? Flow and the oxygen lah. We have the oxygen and we have to flow it to the tissue. So it's flow times arterial oxygen content. If your artery have high oxygen content, but the blood is not flowing, it will not reach the destination. If your flow is good, the road is clear, but your car is not moving, means you don't have the car, means you can't reach the destination. It's the same thing. Okay? So cardiac output in deciliter per minute. The VO2 punya equation, it doesn't use liter per minute, it uses deciliter per minute. Okay, in exam nowadays, you only have to mention, they don't give you a full length calculation unless you're sitting for MCI. In MCI, you need to know how to convert. Okay, because they give you numbers and they ask you to calculate. Good thing about primary, they don't do that. Then you don't have to convert it from liter to deciliter and everything. Okay, that's good part of it. So CO deciliter per minute time concentration of arterial oxygen. So this is the full length of the equation. So this is your cardiac output. This part of the equation accounts for your oxygen content in the artery. Okay, you have oxygen in the artery. The oxygen must be packaged in. It cannot move alone, right? It has to packaged in the HB. So that is the hemoglobin. And it has to be saturated. Oxygen is here, HB is here, but they are not fully saturated. They can, one hemoglobin can carry how many oxygen molecule? 4, right? So that shows the saturation, how much they saturated. If the one lorry can bawa 100 kilo, tapi dia bawa 20 kilo saja, dia sampai destination, tak cukup apa yang dia sampai. Same concept. Okay. Next, this is the dissolved, very little, but become important in which patients? Carbon monoxide, hyperbaric chamber. When you give high pressure oxygen, right, it gets dissolved more, right? It's based on PO2, right? PO2, right? We'll come into that. In respiratory, all these are respiratory. So, what this is, the usual oxygen delivery is 900 to 1000 ml per oxygen. It's based on this lah. 50 deciliter per minute is 5 liter per minute. Okay, this is the 20 ml per deciliter as a oxygen content in the artery. How do we come into that? First, CaO2 arterial, CbO2 is the venous. So unit is volume and percentage, mil oxygen per 100 ml blood or per deciliter blood. Okay. Oxygen content, oxygen bound to hemoglobin plus oxygen dissolved in the blood. This is the plasma dissolved. This is carried by the oxygen. Okay, oxygen bound plus oxygen dissolved. How do we get it? Oxygen carrier capacity per oxygen set, partial pressure oxygen times oxygen solubility. The oxygen solubility is the one that 0.003. Depends on we are using millimeter, mercury or kilopascal. So HB, what is 1.34? This part is the oxygen carried in hemoglobin. Hemoglobin per gram per deciliter times 1.34 times saturation. What is 1.34? Is the Aftness constant. What is the importance of Aftness constant? Aftness constant says oxygen combining capacity of the hemoglobin. Why do you have to have this Aftness constant? Why can't we just put it as 1? Why do they have to actually tell us what is the oxygen binding capacity of the hemoglobin? Because we have different types of hemoglobin, right? It can differ if you have a lot of abnormal hemoglobin. The capacity will come down. So this is for adult hemoglobin, HbA. Okay, so it differs. So that's why we have to have this Aftness constant. So there's a difference in 1.39, 1.34 and everything. Okay. And your KO2, partial pressure of oxygen in millimeter mercury, if you're using millimeter mercury like we are more comfortable with, is 0.003 mil. Okay. I'm not talking about the venous, it's the same thing. It's just in venous, the saturation will be lower. Okay, you all know that. Okay. Okay, Aftness constant, 1.3 gram mils, 1.39 is the theoretical. Ideally, if a perfect hemoglobin, it can carry up to 1.39 to 1.4. Unfortunately, we don't have 100% HbA in our body. We'll have some meth hemoglobin, sulf hemoglobin. Okay, sometimes when you're young, HbF and everything. So that's why it's 1.34. Okay, don't have to be very much about this. Dissolved oxygen solubility coefficient follows the Henry's law. So Henry's law says higher the partial pressure of the oxygen, more it can be dissolved in a solution. Keep it simple. Henry's law says that when the partial pressure of that solution, the substance is high, they can dissolve more in the solution. Okay? Take a piece of paper and just do a simple calculation. Calculate that you have a HP of 15, SpO2 of 98, PaO2 of 100. What will be your CaO2? Calculate CaO2. Your CaO2 is equivalent to Hb times SaO2 times 1.34 plus plasma, dissolve 0.003 mil times your PaO2. Hb bound to oxygen, you get 19.7 mil. Okay? And then Hb dissolved is 0.03 mil. That's why we get the 20 mil oxygen just now. See the difference. How much is the difference? So the plasma is, that's why it's insignificant in us, like in a normal situation. It's very little. Unless you push up your partial pressure of oxygen in your artery until 500, 600 like that. When hyperbaric chamber, we give how many pressure? 2 atm, 3 atm, right? 1300, 1400. Imagine what happened to your dissolve. Will increase, right? Tremendously will increase, right? That's the difference. Okay, so 0.3 divided 1.5% only. Only in hyperbaric chamber it becomes potent. Okay, this is for your PbO2 lah, the same thing lah, but just that it will be 75% here lah. Okay, just keep that. But your dissolve also will be even lesser lah, because your PbO2 will be even low, right? Venous partial pressure of oxygen. Okay, so oxygen consumption. Next, bring us to oxygen consumption. What is the normal oxygen consumption of adult male? 3 hingga 3.5, 3 to 3.5. Okay, that's why if you 3, it will 210, 3.5 will be 250, right? Don't say 250. A person with 100 kilo cannot get 250, then you will mati lah, hypoxia patient too. Okay, because you need to know this, because now the concept of when you ventilate the patient in OT, use low flow, ultra low flow or normal flow. Berapa liter you flow you pakai? Siapa guna less than 1? Less than 500? 150 mil oxygen je. Dia bagi apa dia nak je. Enough je, cukup je. So that's called metabolic flow. Metabolic flow. Ultra low flow is 500. Low flow is below 1 liter, something like that. Okay, most of the time you all letak 1 liter oxygen, 1 liter air kan. 2 liter lah. Tak apalah pakai CO ke desk ke, pakai je lah. Who cares about green effect? So oxygen consumption, standard oxygen consumption value equivalent to 1 metabolic equivalent. This is where your maths come into play. METS. You ask for during a pre-med, right? What's maths, right? Let's say ES maths of 15, IF maths of 10 only. Who's more fitter? Who's more fit? Means what? How can he more fit? Maths 15 means so what?
Means that he has a good oxygen delivery that can accommodate the consumption of the oxygen.
Very good. So let's say I do it another way. Let's say he said he goes jogging every day, but every time he jog, he got chest pain. I go walking only, I got no chest pain. So who's fit now? Yeah. So what does it mean? Maths mean how much you can increase. Means when you run, you need 15 maths. If you run, you need 15 maths. Maybe 15 times 3.5, he needs. Like 250 means, if his body weight 70 kilo, 210 means, 15 times 210, he has to give that much of oxygen. Let's say he's doing a sprinting now. But can he achieve that without having any symptoms? Does his body able to achieve that? That's why we ask them, bila naik tangga, ada sakit dada ke, susah nafas ke? It means they when they naik tangga, supposed to have maths 4 or 5 lah. But they can't do that, or housework. They're supposed to be able to do the housework without having any symptoms. Means their heart able to increase the oxygen supply to achieve the demand. But if you can't achieve it, it means they are not good. They are not good. Their cardiovascular system is not good. Understand? Your cardiopulmonary test is not good. That's a different way. That's looking at your heart and your pulmonary system. How good is it to achieve or supply the demand that is needed? Okay? If a person can say, I can play tennis for 2 hours without any chest pain or anything, mean his heart and his body able to send that much of oxygen. Mean he doesn't go into anaerobic metabolism lah. Okay? So this is what 70 times 3.5 and everything. What is the oxygen consumption in pits? Double, 6 to 7. Okay, 6 to 7 mils per kg per minute. Okay, that's why they decide pass. You intubate, right? Adult, you pre-ox and you intubate to 1 minute, 1.5 minutes pun dia tak decide, right? But kids intubate, right? Because they use up the oxygen fast. They need more, 7 mils per kg per minute, double. Okay? Okay, so this is going backwards. We got this value. Just now I give you value of 20 mil. In calculate how to get it, I went to the calculation, right? This is again same thing. We have this value now from this fact. How do we actually get it this much? So we'll go this fast. I'll just show you. So what is oxygen consumed is oxygen delivered, okay, and oxygen returned. The difference lah. Okay, how much is being sent and how much actually came out. Okay, so that's the difference mean that has been taken out by the cell. So oxygen in arterial flow minus oxygen in venous flow. CaO2 minus CvO2, it means that amount has been taken in the cell. Whatever rest is coming back to the heart. Okay, flow times CaO2 times CvO2. So cardiac output times CaO2 times CaO2 minus CvO2. So VO2, then you calculate this lah. We know how to calculate this, right? Just now. We calculated this and calculated this, right? You just have an ABG and you have an BBG. Then you can calculate both. HB going to be same one, either A or B. What you need to know is the PaO2 and PbO2. You need to know the SaO2 and SpO2. Hafner's constant is the same, right? So we calculated this, right? So the difference is cardiac output, we know the 50 deciliter. The difference is 5 times 50, 250 mil per minute. Oxygen consumed. The cardiac output is the same. HB is the same. What differs here is the PaO2 versus PbO2, SaO2 versus SpO2. So you calculate arterial oxygen content in oxygen, artery, and venous oxygen content. That is the difference. And times with your cardiac output. Cardiac output, deciliter is 5 liter become 50 deciliter. The difference is 20 minus 15, 5 mil, the oxygen differences. So 50 times 5, it means patient has consumed 250 mil. So cardiac output measurement, so fixed principle, same thing. What goes in must come out. The difference is what has been taken out. That is fixed principle. Fixed principle said amount that goes in must come out. If it doesn't come out, whatever the difference is the amount that has been consumed. Rate of uptake versus rate of return. The difference is rate of consumption. Okay, that's what we did just now. So same thing lah. Q is equal to V times, we did this just now. So what happens is, here we calculate the oxygen consumption by this, right? So you just, but now we want to measure the cardiac output. So you take it out. You rearrange we calculate the oxygen consumption, we find out the oxygen consumption, then you find the output. That's the back way of doing it lah. Okay, we did this, just now we did this, right? But now we want to find out the Q. So it goes down. Talked about it. You have a patient who have 1000 mil is going in, right? 750 is coming back. So you have 250 mil has been consumed. How do we calculate? We calculated using this. Nampak kat atas, Okay. So what happens is you follow this arrow, From the heart, let's say your heart has now, the aorta has 1000 mil per minute oxygen. So it goes to the cells. Goes to the cells, then it goes, takes 5 mils per deciliter here, 5 times 250 mil is being consumed, and come back 150 mil. So difference is 200 times 150 mils, right? That's in 50 mils has been consumed lah. Okay, then it goes back to here. So 750 mils, 50, 5 times 50, 250 mil. 1000 minus 250 is 750. Okay, so 250 divided by 50, you get 5 liter per minute. It's just looking backwards. Okay, this is just to say the whole summary lah. Of course, we have to find one thing first, the difference. We put in the value here because we have calculated all of this. Okay, just repetition. Okay, regional flow, this you have to mark up. Nothing to remember. Okay, your cardiac output has been distributed to multiple organs, right? Different organ. Which organ receives the largest cardiac output? Maximum cardiac output goes there. Baroreceptors, carotid bodies. They have to receive everything, right? Because they are measuring, like, they need to know how much coming out. Then only they can they can regulate your BP, right? I'm talking about liter per minute. Cardiac output is not talking about volume, how much they get. It's how much flow going to there. It's based on their functions. Okay. You see, what determines the cardiac output or how much of the percentage of cardiac output reaches that organ is based on their functions, right? Why kidney receive most of the cardiac output? Because for filtration function, right? It's not for their use. They don't need that much oxygen. It's totally for a different reason. Why liver receives it very high? For a metabolism, right? It's based on what their function is, not based on their demand. Demand comes in when there is actual increase in demand. We are talking about rest, at rest. Of course, when in demand, skeletal muscle get even higher, right? So it depends. When you're actively thinking, your brain gets higher. That's a difference. I might rest. At rest, the carotid, your baroreceptors. So they need to know how much is going on, right? To regulate everything. So this one you all can get, the value may differ a little bit here and there. What I want to show is rest and maximal exercise. You see, muscle is 15%, but during exercise, is 80%. So all the other bloods being redistributed. So this table, I love it. I got it from internet last time, but my own, I've edited even more. Carotid body, I've mentioned it here. When you read it, you will know. Carotid body actually, baroreceptors, so I've add on here. They got very high, they got very high milliliter per minute actually. They're one of the highest. So then you can add on, you can print it out or whatever. You can find this in internet. Then you can add on how much during exercise, how much increase. Keep it as a note reference.